Thank you, Andrew. And this morning, we'd like to welcome Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Governor, thanks for joining us this morning. So first off, President Trump spoke in Western Michigan last night. At the rally, the president reinforced his Liberate Michigan message. Take a listen.
You got to get your governor to open up your state, okay? And get your schools open. Get your schools open. The schools have to be open, right? Look.
Now, Governor Whitmer, it feels like tensions have been rising the closer we get to the election. Do you feel there's a greater risk for violence in Michigan when the results are announced?
Well, I'm concerned about inciting violent behavior. I mean, this is part of the problem, right? Less than, what was it, 10 days ago, there was charges were announced around a plot to kidnap and possibly murder me. Every time the president does something like this, we see more death threats. This is endangering the lives of public servants all across the state who are just trying to save their fellow Americans' lives. And every minute that we're talking about this and aren't focused on the 220,000 Americans who have died because of the Trump virus response has been such a failure, it's good for the president. And that's why I'm not going to stay focused on that. I'm going to focus on the one thing that he hasn't done, and that's his job. We have Americans at food pantries. We have tens of millions who are out of work. We've lost 220,000 people. That's 73 9/11s in the last 7 months. The fact of the matter is this virus is out of control. It is still out of control. And we right now have an opportunity to change leadership in this country. And that's why I want to encourage my fellow Michiganders to vote now. Every day between now and November 3rd is Election Day, because you have the ability to go into your clerk's office and vote now. And it's important that we say, we need leadership in Washington, D.C. that isn't going to seek to divide and incite us, but bring us together, get our arms around this COVID virus that's ravaging us, and build our economy back better.
And Governor, I do want to stay on the terror plot here for just a minute. We're very glad that you and your family are safe. You've mentioned that you don't think the threat is over. Do you know of any other investigations into other terror groups right now?
I don't, and if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to share it with you, but I am so focused on doing my job. I am grateful for our U.S. attorneys and our state attorney general and the FBI and the Michigan State Police. That is law enforcement. They've done their jobs. They put themselves on the line to protect me and my family, and I'm eternally grateful, and I'm confident in their ability, and that's what gives me the ability to keep my energy focused on doing what we can to protect people and keep our economy engaged.
And Governor, as we know, a Michigan court overturned an extension that allowed absentee ballots to be received 2 weeks after Election Day. Now, the Michigan GOP chair called the ruling a victory that would stop Democrats from getting an advantage. How do you respond to that?
You know, I think it is sad that a political party would make statements to hurt people's ability to vote. That's not how it should be. Every one of us should recognize that our duty as Americans is to ensure that the electorate can have confidence in the integrity of their vote and can cast that vote without undue impediments. All that being said, we'll figure out how to make sure every vote gets counted. I know that Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and Attorney General Dana Nessel are working incredibly hard to keep people safe at the polls and to get every vote counted. And this decision will impact some votes, but not many. And that's why I think it's really important people go vote now and get their ballots turned in right now.
Well, Governor, given the court ruling that it stripped you of some of your emergency powers, what is the path forward stopping this new spike in the virus? We're actually taking a look right now. Our viewers are seeing the moving average trend over a week here, and it's the highest it's been since April. So to that end, given the rhetoric we've also heard from the legislature, is there any goodwill left to work with legislative leaders?
It's difficult to predict how that's going to shake out. I can tell you that when they stand on the stage, like they did last night in Muskegon, with chants like the ones that you just heard on the clip that you played, it is creating a very dangerous environment. But more importantly, we have to be able to move forward and try to protect all Michiganders, whether they are Republican or Democratic. If you're a Michigander, my job is to do everything in my power to protect you from the spread of this virus. This virus is still all across the state. It is growing. The scientists have been telling us the fall was going to be the most challenging time. The court ruling has created a lot of confusion, but I want your listeners and watchers, your viewers, to know we still have a mask mandate in Michigan. There are still prohibitions on gatherings in Michigan. We know what it's going to take to stay safe, and it's the simple things like wearing a mask and physical distancing and washing our hands. And the more of us that do that, the less likely we're going to see this spike grow uncontrolled and have to close our economy down again. And that's what we all want to avoid. If you're mad about wearing a mask, or you're mad your kids aren't in school full time, or you're sad that you're not at church right now or able to watch college football, I think you need to get out and vote for Joe Biden so we can have a national strategy around this virus and get our economy back engaged.
And Governor Whitmer, considering the rhetoric coming from the legislature, how optimistic are you that we can have some goodwill moving forward?
Well, I am always optimistic. I'm eternally optimistic, but I also am pragmatic. I'm going to use every tool at my disposal to keep people safe. I will find common ground where there are people of goodwill who genuinely want to do that. I have been calling on quadrant meetings ever since I took my oath of office. So we've had an ongoing dialogue. Our staff at the staff level has been working through a lot of things together. But I do think when the leaders show up on stages or meet with groups that are domestic terrorists, it creates a situation that is very dangerous, not just for me and my family, but for all Michiganders. And we need people of goodwill on both sides of the aisle to bring the heat down, because it is dangerous. And that rally last night is just one more example of how the rhetoric has gotten out of control in our country. And we have got to get back to a place where we can talk to one another, where we can find common ground, and we can solve problems together.
Well, Governor, thanks so much for joining us. These are very, very important issues out here.
Thank you, Governor
Thank
Whitmer.
you.